Viewer discretion is advised.
A logger was taking a break away from the campsite. He thought about the recent disappearances of their colleagues. They had accidents, they said, but something doesn't make sense. Accidents? All happened at the same time? As he pondered, he felt something was dripping on him. He looked up and saw his missing colleague dangling on the tree, with apples growing unnaturally on his dead body. Terrified, he ran. He could hear inhuman chants all around him. He almost got to the camp, but something grabbed his leg, fiercely dragged him back into the woods, and the bleeding faces on the tree was the last thing he saw. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you a SCP Foundation neutralized object, SCP-4608. SCP-4608, also known as Appleseed, was a 60-acre apple orchard containing over 22,000 trees, located on the outskirts of Milan, Indiana. Sigils and symbols relating to occult Norse religions were found engraved on most of the trees. Within the orchard, there were organisms consisting of unidentified plant-like muscular structures, dubbed SCP-4608-1. These instances were predatory in nature, highly mobile, and aggressively territorial. Additionally, a large apple tree with 13 human faces embedded on its bark, dubbed SCP-4608-2, could be found in the middle of the orchard. The faces were capable of speech, though the language used is currently unidentified. It was hostile and used its roots as a means of manipulation. 4608 was discovered when a local logging company had purchased the land on which it was located. Shortly after the first expedition, all crew members were either declared dead or missing. The search party was also presumed missing. On October 14, 1947, the Foundation was alerted to the occurrences surrounding the area by police reports accompanied by a photograph of an instance of 4608-1. In response, the Foundation dispatched a 3-man team to investigate 4608. After 4 days of no contact, all 3 agents were presumed dead. Following this, a high-risk response team, Mobile Strike Force Bravo 7, was dispatched to handle the situation. Alpha Squad moved swiftly into the site, with Beta Squad headed east and Gamma Squad went west. The mission was to find out what happened to the investigation team, and if necessary, neutralize any hostile forces. Their surroundings began to appear more barren as they advanced deeper in. As they approached the incident site, the squad found several dead bodies. The bodies were heavily mutilated, and their chests were ripped open and filled with apples. Christ, who and what could have done this? Suddenly, they heard a loud shriek from their radios. They immediately huddled into a defensive formation, trained their rifles towards the tree line, and scanned for movement. Squad leads, report. It came from the southwest. We're definitely not alone out here. Alpha Squad began moving towards the direction and slowly entering the tree line.
Unlike earlier, the trees they encountered now appeared to be healthier and taller.
They noticed that there was some sort of strange sigil etched on the trees. They felt that somebody or something was stalking them. Another loud shriek was heard, but this time it wasn't from the radio. Multiple shrieks shot through the woods from the opposite direction several seconds later. Suddenly, Alpha 4 caught movement at the edge of his vision, but it was too quick for him to have a clear look. Beta Squad called on their radios. "We've got a man down. Repeat, man down." Beta 6 screamed. Sounds of gunshots accompanied with shrieks can be heard through the radio.
Alpha Squad now realized there was only 3 of them. Alpha 5 has gone missing.
But they had found their teammate quickly, as they turned around and saw Alpha 5 bisected and hanging by his intestines from the trees, swaying lifelessly. As they began to mobilize, a loud shriek came from behind them. They turned around, then finally had a clear look at their stalker. A 4608-1 lunged at Alpha 1. At this time, Beta Squad was sustaining heavy damage, as Beta 8 was killed in action and Beta 6 severely injured. They needed to find a place to regroup and stabilize. Soon, they arrived at a small abandoned chapel. The shrieks got louder and sounded more hostile the closer they got to the chapel. "Get him in there! Go, go, go!" They rushed past the doorway, and Beta 1 slammed the door against the pursuing instances of 4608-1. Beta-9 hastily rested Beta-6 on the floor and helped to barricade the door against the relentless onslaught. Beta-6 lay weakly on the ground. He shone his flashlight in front of him, illuminating a wall composed of human skulls. Jesus, we're doomed. Beta-9 paced quickly over to him and laid down his first aid kit. Hey, snap out of it. Stay with me, buddy. We'll get you out of this. Oh, God. As he focused his light on Beta-6's leg wound, he found that not only the area around it was showing signs of necrosis, but several Appleseeds were also embedded in and around the wound. Hang in there. I'm so sorry, but this is gonna hurt. Beta-9 produced a scalpel and began digging into the wound to get the seeds out. For a moment, the chapel was filled with the shrieks from behind the barricaded door, and Beta-6's scream of pain as the seeds were painstakingly taken out one by one. Beta-1 stood guard near the door, and his radio beeped. It was Alpha 7. Can anybody hear me? Come in! Before Beta-1 could respond, he was alerted by a loud shriek. He turned around and saw Beta-9 flailing on the ground, as multiple instances of 4608-1 were ripping off chunks of his flesh. More instances were also emerging from Beta-6's mouth, eyes, and leg wound. Alpha Team is down. Those bastards killed us off. Beta-1, where are you? But Beta-1 could not respond, as multiple 4608-1 instances forcefully ripped out his throat. All Alpha 7 heard was the sound of flesh being torn apart. At the west side of the orchard, Gamma 1 was kneeling beside a disemboweled Gamma Squad member with a blank look on his face. Several inhuman voices could be heard speaking in an unidentified language.
Suddenly, a call from Alpha 7 shook him into senses.
Gamma Squad, you there? I'm all alone. Please come in. Gamma 1 pulled himself together. He took a grenade from the pocket of his fallen comrade and stood up. He said, "It's just me now." As he looked around, he saw human faces emerging from the surrounding trees. The faces were sobbing as blood poured from their empty eye sockets. Listen carefully. Get out of here right now and call for backup. I'm gonna finish this. He walked towards the largest tree, which was 4608-2, with a grenade clenched in his hand. All 13 faces stopped shrieking and began frantically vocalizing in the unknown language. As he got closer, a large root emerged from the ground and constricted around Gamma 1, pulling him towards it. That's right, pull me in. I ain't going anywhere. Despite his bones that were being crushed by the roots, he laughed hysterically as he slowly lifted up his hand. The grenade's pin had been pulled. Except to hell. And I'm taking all you bastards with me. The grenade went off, and 4608-2 erupted into flames as it collapsed. The surrounding trees screamed as they spontaneously combusted. The orchard was engulfed in a fiery blaze that darkened the sky for a long moment. The members of Mobile Strike Force Bravo 7 were posthumously awarded the Foundation Star for their efforts in neutralizing 4608. Remember to check out my new animation channel, TheRubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.